Hey, what's up? This is Chosen, and this video is going to be unveiling my complete rare tier list, so let's get into it. Alrighty, so it's been a massive project, but I finally have gotten done with legendary, epic, and rare tier lists. I have all three of them done, and I actually compiled them all into one sheet. You can click on the bottom of the sheet to switch in between them and look, so you can look at them all in the same spreadsheet. And let's just go ahead and get right to the point. Let's unveil it here. So this is my rare tier list, and you know, worth noting, down here on the bottom, this is where you can switch between the two. We can click legendary, epic, or scroll over to the rare one. So we'll have them all in one nice little resource, and this is subject to change. You can see there on the top left, I've got a spot where I show last updated. So that's how you know how soon it has been since I made changes, and obviously a few of these are going to shuffle around. You know, I did a rough draft, then I went through and did like another rough draft where I gave them specific numbers, and then when I put them on the spreadsheet and actually got towards my final draft, I made a few more changes. So I do have it about where I want it as of today, but obviously, you know, when you're rating 117 champions individually, one by one, you know, there's going to be some things that I look back on and be like, oh, okay, I should have had this champion here, or I should have done this. So it's going to be, this is generally accurate, but it could change over time. So, you know, maybe favorite it and give it a look every now and then if you're worried about keeping up to date on the rare tier list. So yeah, let's go ahead and explain kind of the best ones and my reasoning. Apothecary, I put at number 1. There is an argument for all of the rares in the god tier range: Apothecary, Bellower, Coldheart, or Kale. But I went with Apothecary because he's a turn meter booster in Arena. He's a healer in Dungeons. He pairs with Giant Slayer in the Clan Boss. You can use Apothecary literally everywhere, and he will be a great addition to your roster. He's amazing. So I had to put him at number 1. Bellower, I had slightly edge out Coldheart because of his ability to be an amazing campaign farmer. Bellower, you know, if you watch my stream or anything, you'll know that I use Bellower as my campaign farmer, and he basically does it in 8 to 13 seconds on, you know, the complete endgame 12-3 brutal. So, you know, Bellower also has great debuffs and AoE for the Spider Den. He can be a good nuker setup in the mid-game arena. The only place he doesn't shine is the Clan Boss, but he is absolutely incredible everywhere else. And then Coldheart is obviously, you know, one of the best damage dealers in the game. In terms of like dealing damage in dungeons, her Heartseeker ability is incredible to manipulate the turn meter and to crit extremely hard for hundreds of thousands of damage. And then Kale, as far as rares are concerned, has to go in the god tier because of he's kind of the same as Apothecary. He's useful everywhere. He can be a nuker in the arena. He can be your first 6-star. He's actually someone I recommend to be your first 6-star for most people, because he's really great in the Clan Boss early to mid game. He kind of falls off a little bit in Nightmare, but he's amazing in the Clan Boss for a long time. Nuker in the arena, campaign farmer, great in dungeons, does poisons, hits hard, has AoE, does it all, so he is amazing. And then as we get into the next tier, Aethel slightly edges out a lane because of her ability to have that 3-hit A1 that procs weaken. So that's a really good A1. So I wanted to get her up there towards the top. Some of you might be surprised to see Spirit Host so high on the list up there at number 7. And that is because, again, of her general usefulness. She's got a speed aura. She can boost your damage. She can be a good kind of nuke setup hero for like the mid-game arena. And she's farmable. She is easily accessible. You can get her in the campaign and farm yourself a maxed out Spirit Host if you're willing to put in the work. And then we get into Painkeeper and Steel Bowyer, and I'll go over those really quick here. Dark Elves, and then Painkeeper is going to be this one right here. Now, a lot of people have been freaking out about Painkeeper getting nerfed, and that's fair. You know, it does feel bad to invest a bunch of time and food and skill books in a hero and then watch them get nerfed. So I do understand that, but Painkeeper is still a really good rare. What changed with her was her heal. Attack all enemies and then heal all allies by 15% of this champion's max HP. That's still a really good ability in terms of being a rare. Like, it did get nerfed, but it's still good. So it's not like she went from God tier to trash tier. She went from God tier to excellent tier. So instead of being just, you know, amazing, she's just really good. And, you know, so I wanted to go over that really quick because she's kind of been a hot topic. You know, when you compare all the kits in the game for rare champions, Painkeeper still stands out as a really good hero in terms of rares. And then Steel Bowyer is another hot topic in the community because Plarium has basically said she's overtuned and they're going to take a look at her and nerf her. They did not tell us exactly what. So obviously stay tuned. You know, I don't know when you're watching this video, but Steel Bowyer may move down my tier list, but I still have her at number 9 right now because she's really good. She's got an A1 that decreases accuracy, and then her A2 is going to basically be lifesteal on a 3-turn cooldown. And then this A3 is attack on enemies 3 times and damage increases according to enemy max HP. So really good for dungeons and stuff. And she's Force Affinity, which people are usually struggling to find good Force champions. So Bowyer is still a really good rare. She hasn't been nerfed as of this video, but she is in danger of sliding down if that does occur. And then I know in my last video, some people were saying to go over some of the ones at the bottom and why do you have them there. So what's my dead last one? Rotting Mage in the Undead Hordes. Rotting Mage in the Undead Hordes. Rare, and he is this one right here. So we have an A1 with a low chance to place a freeze for 1 turn. Can be okay for the arena, but you're not going to be using that at any sort of... and I guess it could be okay in, like, the trash clearing stage of dungeons, but that's a pretty low priority. And then the A2 is place a 25% increase attack on all allies. It's the small version. Someone like Spirit Host does a 50% increase attack. But he does also place a defense buff, but only on himself. Which, if this were on all allies, then he slides up the board and he would not be dead last. But in terms of placing it just on himself, pretty meh. And then an A3 with a 75% chance to place a stun. Again, doesn't work on bosses or anything. So, just doesn't bring a whole lot of utility. I would like to see his balancing be... also places a 30% increased defense buff on all champions. That would bring him up the board into, like, you know, good. And then we've got Muckstalker is actually my next one at number 116 in the Lizardmen. If you watch my stream, Muckstalker is a pretty famous one because I have pulled like 120 Muckstalkers, like just a ridiculous amount. And basically he does, like, he revolves around, you know, placing sleeps, which I guess in like a single target defensive arena style, you could maybe make it work, but it doesn't even proc if they have buffs. So, and then his passive is placed a 15% continuous heal buff on this champion. You know, this could be made to be all allies, and then that'd be a pretty cool ability. But then you would have to make it a cooldown. But yeah, and then an A1, a 30% chance to place block buffs is okay for certain bosses, but Muckstalker just isn't going to provide any sort of consistent value on a normal, like, team. And then the last one I'll go over the bottom 3 is Ifrit in the Demon Spawn. Oh, duh. I clicked on Dead Hordes. There we go. And Ifrit is going to be this one. So yeah, he's got an A1 that places a weaken for 1 turn. That's not bad. That's okay. An A2 that places a 25% decrease attack. And damage increases according to this champion's max HP. Again, it could be useful. I wish it was the big version. And then the passive, decreased damage received by 50% from a single hit. Oh, by 50% if the damage from a single hit exceeds 30%. place a decreased defense debuff for 2 turns on the attacker if the attack is critical. Kind of a weird passive that you could get some value out of at some point, but yeah, just doesn't deal damage, doesn't provide any significant buffs for the team. Just not a whole lot of value here. And then the aura is exactly what you get from your starting leader, so probably something you're not really ever going to use there. So that's my bottom 3 and kind of the reasoning for it. So that's going to kind of do it for this video and the first version of my rare tier list. I will have a link down in the video description where you can check out all of these tier lists. And as always, definitely let me know your input. Like if you think I'm right or wrong, I'm always open to feedback, and I love to hear you know, things that should be changed and stuff. That's how I learn on how to perfect these things and make them better. So definitely don't hesitate to throw me your feedback. And as always, thank you for watching. Have a good rest of your day. Peace.